From Nice Guys and the Other Guys comes a team up between Ryan Gosling and Will Ferrell in an Amazon MGM movie titled Tough Guys. And also with the official launch of the DCU universe with the release of Superman, that is James Gunn's directed Superman, comes an update on Wonder Woman and the Batman, who forms the rest of the Holy Trinity of the DC franchise. But with regards to the Batman, not what you think. And also, last but not the least, Gloria Sarfo, having had an opportunity to work in the Nollywood film industry just a couple of weeks, have discovered some interesting things about the Nigerian film industry that the Ghanaian film industry can learn from. These and more right here on the Film Mandate. My name is Papa Otu. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Film Mandate, where I bring to you movie news, reviews, and reactions both from the African front and the international scene. And thank you so much for joining me for this very episode. So, we'll be delving into our very first story. So, if you are a fan of action comedy movies, you know that some of the names that are prominent in these kinds of genre is Ryan Gosling and Will Ferrell. And Ryan Gosling starred in a in a 2017 movie. I'm not even yeah, in a movie directed by Shane Black. That is Nice Guys, who he co-starred with Russell Crowe, and also Will Ferrell starred in a movie titled The Other Guys, where he co-starred with I'm blanking out of the name, but he co-starred with I'm trying to see. Let me see if I can come up with the name here. Yeah, the other guys. Yeah, so he co-starred with Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, so he co-starred with Mark Wahlberg in the other guys, which had Dwayne Johnson and Samuel L. Jackson appearing for a brief moment. But this time around, these two actors are teaming up in their own movie with Amazon MGM titled The Tough Guys. So let's read an article that was published in the Hollywood Reporter and know what this project is about. So the Hollywood Reporter says that Ryan Gosling will Ferrell teaming for action comedy Tough Guys at Amazon MGM Studios. Daniel Gold penned the script as a spec about two henchmen who break free from the criminal underworld and rewrite the rules as they abandon their ruthless boss and dodge the elite assassin on their trail. So, yeah, Ryan Gosling and Will Ferrell ready for a tough new project. The duo are in talks to star in and produce Tough Guys, an action comedy being set up at Amazon MGM Studios. Longtime working mom scribe Daniel Gold penned the script as a spec, which has the following logline. Fed up with being disposable, two henchmen break free from the criminal underworld and rewrite the rules as they abandon their ruthless boss and dodge the elite assassin on their trail. Gosling helped bring Ferrell onto the project after becoming enamored with the script. The Oscar-nominated actor is already a favorite at Amazon MGM Studios, which will release Project Hail Mary on March 20th, 2026. The sci-fi features first trailer, the sci-fi features first trailer arrived last week ahead of a splashy Hall H panel at San Diego Comic Con next week. Ferrell, meanwhile, is also a fixture at the studio as the star of the recently released You Are Cordially Invited and an upcoming Nicholas Stoller feature. So, yeah, Nicholas Stoller feature. Gosling is in talks to produce Tough Guys with Jesse Henderson via their general admission banner, while Ferrell is in negotiations to produce with Jessica Elbaum via Gloria Sanchez. Underground's Trevor Engelson and Aaron Falb would executive produce. Gosling is read by CAA and Sloan Alpha. Ferrell is read by UTA Mosaic and Jackaway Austin. Gold is read by CAA Underground and Ginsberg Daniels. So there you have it. Finally, having a team up between Ryan Gosling and Will Ferrell. And this article is written by Aaron Couch. So it is indeed exciting news when it comes to this particular project, seeing that these two actors have starred in their own or in separate action comedy films. With Ryan Gosling, he starred even in some action films which may not necessarily be action comedy, but still within the same vein of a genre, that is action. So you have the Fall Guy, which he starred. No, the Fall Guy in itself happens to be an action comedy, which she starred opposite Emily Blunt, which has to do with stuntmen. But he also starred in an Amazon film, I think the Gray Man, also opposite Chris Evans. So he has had a lot of foray into the action, comedy franchise or action genre film. If you ever watch the film he starred opposite Russell Crowe, that is an excellent, action comedy where it is very, very funny, but also had, some elements of action, and it's quite an interesting film. And Will Ferrell as well, he starred in his own comedy. He is really in the comedy genre, and he starred in several films. Opposite. I'm blanking out on the name, but in Step Brothers, he starred against that regular actor. I mean, an actor that he stars in movies regularly back in the days. But he also starred in The Other Guys, which happens to be an action comedy. So both of these actors have had foray into the action comedy genre, and it's of no surprise that they are teaming up. And I think it's going to really be funny looking at what they've done so far and bringing that expertise to bear on this project is an exciting feature to look out for. And much has not been revealed on this project apart from the brief log line that Daniel Gold, the scribe, has offered and published in this particular article. That's the Hollywood Reporter. However, there is also another project of the same name. So when I saw the story, I actually thought it was. I mean, I delved a little bit into it to this, and I discovered that it actually Tough Guy also happens to be the title of a project that was released in 1986, starring Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster. So I thought it was an adaptation, but it's actually two different, entirely different projects, but within the same genre of action comedy as well. So it is really an original project, if you have to put it that way, that will be released with the Amazon MGM. Currently, I don't know whether there is a director attached, because all I know of is that of Daniel Goldman, who himself happens to be a Canadian director as well. So we don't know whether perhaps as time goes on, he may want to come aboard to direct. So, well, it's interesting, but regardless, we know that Amazon have been producing some quality materials. So to have these two team up and work on the project together will be exciting. Grant Gosling also has his own action chops, but also comedy from Barbie that he starred in to other even serious projects. He always bring his A game to bear. But the interesting thing about Ryan Gosling is that even in the serious action films that he stars in, he always has this pleasantness about him. So transitioning or bringing aboard his skills to into an action comedy film, it will not be it will not be a strain on him at all because he is really a formidable actor, being able to work in several genres. We are here to see his upcoming film, Project Hail Mary, which will be released in 2026 of March, which in itself he displays some action, some comedy chops in that film as well. Yes, we've not watched the film, but from the trailer, you can see that he brings on board some comedy action chops that I believe would perhaps informed Amazon in bringing him on board. But regardless of however how he ended up on board, I know that this having these two actors and they producing as well, it means that this project is in good hands. I know it's going to go out well. Most of the films that Will Ferrell has produced have always been, I mean, been good in terms of the comedy films that he's been doing. And well, I don't know whether they've had major failures, which I think they have, but I don't think it's going to really affect this film in any way or capacity because they have produced some stellar works over the years and it is done well. So I'm excited about this project. I don't know about you. Let me know your thoughts on these two teaming up to be in this action comedy film. Do you think it's enough to whet your appetite, get you excited for this project, having seen what they've done in the past? Let me know your thoughts on that and leave your comments in the comment section below. So moving on from action comedy genre to the superhero genre. Superman was released just a couple of days ago, or just last weekend ago, and to rousing success. And so far, it looks like DC is on track to really show us the rest of the films they have in play. So they had at one of the IMAX cinemas, you had the co-chief of DC Studios and David Zaslav, the head of Warner Brothers, there, and they unveiled a little bit of what um, they updated audiences as to what is coming up after Superman. After, I mean, obviously, most most people know that follow up to Superman would be the Peacemaker, which will come after, also this year, and also next year you have Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow dropping, as well as Clayface. But finally, there's been a little update onto as to the the rest of the Trinity. But the Batman is not the Batman we are expecting for the Trinity, but that of Matt Reeves' Batman. So let's take a look at the article that was published in on the Yahoo Entertainment website, and there it says that this actually they picked it up from Superhero Hype. So this says that Wonder Woman DCU movie gets update. WB reacts to the Batman 2 script, and is written by Brandon Schreier. And it says that the DCU Wonder Woman movie and Matt Reeves' The Batman 2 have both received exciting updates. James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU is alive and well at Warner Brothers Pictures following the release of Superman. After that, the DCU continues next month with Peacemaker Season 2, while Supergirl and Clayface are both due to arrive in 2026. Meanwhile, Reeves is crafting his own shared DC universe, the Batman epic crime saga, which stars Robert Pattinson as the Dark Knight. The sequel to the Batman is currently expected to arrive in 2027. So let's check on the updates. So what are the updates on Wonder Woman and the Batman? According to Variety, Warner Brothers is fast tracking the DCU Wonder Woman movie rather than focusing on a sequel to the Superman. The studio declined to comment for Variety's article, and no other information is available at this time. For the Batman 2, Warner Brothers is reportedly thrilled with the script that was recently turned in. This is good news for fans of the first movie, as this means major rewrites will likely not be necessary and the film can continue on its current production plan meaning there shouldn't be any more shifting release dates anytime soon. There's also the matter of when Batman will be formally introduced into the live action DCU, as the character made a brief, non speaking cameo in the animated Creature Commando series. Gunn has repeatedly said that Pattinson probably won't be the DCU's Batman and the two universes won't cross over. There's also the Brave and the Bold movie starring Batman that is part of the DCU in the works from director Andy Muschietti. There hasn't been much news about the Brave and the Bold in quite some time. However, leading fans to wonder what Bruce Wayne's role within the DCU will actually look like, and if they'll have to wait until after the Batman 2 for him to show up. The Batman 2 currently has an October 1st, 2027 release date. Wonder Woman does not have a release date at this time. However, it has been fast tracked. Fans hopefully won't have to wait too long for some concrete pre-production news. So yeah, there you have it. So it is really interesting having found the success in Superman. And yes, in as much as the theatrical run of Superman is not done yet, Dave Zaslav and the DC heads have already, concluded that it is a win for the studio, and it's a win in particular because of the ratings in terms of the critical score and then the audience scores that can be found at the Rotten Tomato website. And as it stands now, the critic score is around 86%, and that of the audience score is 93%. So for the studio as a whole, that critical reception is really big for them, in yes in as well as the box office returns. But for from the last DCEU, the last roster of films didn't really perform well, especially box office wise, and also it didn't have good reception by both the critics and the audience alike. So for them to have this success, especially with their opening revenue, the opening weekend revenue, and that of the critical reception, the good reception by the audience and critics alike, it is indeed a big win for them. And so they are fast tracking Wonder Woman because when it comes to DC as a universe, the Holy Trinity forms the very basic foundation upon which all other franchises rely upon. And just as we could see from the last cinematic universe, even though critically it wasn't really big in terms of, in terms of box office revenue, people were thrilled to have the Henry Cavill Superman, Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, and then that of Ben Affleck's Batman. Even though at the time when they were officially announced to be starring as these titular superheroes, the reception was it received very bad critical reception. So regardless, most often it happens with every casting of an actor or actress into these roles, but it always happens that they prove them wrong. So fans are wondering who is going to start in as Wonder Woman or that of Batman, and rumors have circulated whether the Matt Reeves Batman will join the that of the DCU, and time again you have James Gunn saying no, that the Pattinson's Batman will remain a separate universe from that of what's it called, the DCU universe as a whole. And it looks like once the Batman 2 script has been turned in, perhaps now more than ever, it has cemented the fact that it's never going to happen where we're going to have the Pattinson's Batman join the DCU. So it is indeed exciting. Looking at the fact that they seem thrilled by the script that Matt Reeves has turned in. Matt Reeves is the writer of the Batman film, and looking at how meticulous Matrice is with his Batman or with whatever film he's ever produced, I won't be surprised that, true to the words of the executives of Warner Brothers, truly it is indeed a thrilling script. So we are hoping for the best that they'll produce this and make that happen. However, other concerns also are that the the every film in the DC universe would have its own tone or have its own feel different from what Superman is. So, particularly with Clayface, it's going to be a body horror film. So, it will have a very distinct tone from that of Superman. So, people have wondered whether, in that case, if it's going to have its own distinct tone, why wouldn't it be possible to have that of the Batman, Matrice Batman, join that of the DCU? Well, the heads have stated that it's going to remain separate. With maybe as time goes forward and they see how well the Batman 2 may perform, or maybe the tone may work well with Clayface, there could be a possibility of bringing the Batman to feature in the DCU. But as it stands now, all hopes for the Pattinson's Batman to join the DCU are off. So we would have to accept it as it is and hope that soon enough a Batman will be cast for the DCU and to complete the Holy Trinity for that particular cinematic universe. So yeah, that is it. It seems exciting that we are having or receiving more news on this update, and we can't wait to see the entire box office run for the Superman and see how well the others in this cinematic universe will go like. So for me, I'm hoping that they succeed with every one of their films so that we can have some two thriving cinematic superhero universes uh, existing, so that we can have various options as well. I mean, I'm talking about the Marvel and also now having a very thriving DC cinematic universe. So that is what we are hoping for. And I don't know about you. Let me know your thoughts on this current update that the Batman 2 script is in and is thrilling, and also Wonder Woman is being fast tracked to join the DCU films that they are making. So leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Now to Africa, particularly the Nollywood film industry and the Ghanaian film industry. So over the years, we've had collaborations between the Ghanaian film industry and the Nigerian film industry, and we've had actors migrate from Ghana to Nollywood to act, and likewise vice versa. And it's been happening over the years. And in current times, that trend hasn't stopped. As a matter of fact, we've had a number of our big name stars migrate to Nollywood to do some projects there. And one of such actors who have had the opportunity to go there and work is none other than Gloria Sarfo, who has starred in several projects in Ghana. You're talking about that of Shirley Frimpong Manson's project. Let me, yeah, Shirley Frimpong Manson's project, The Perfect Picture, 10 years later. She's also starred in Efiera, one of the longest running TV series on our screens. She starred in Aloe Vera. I mean, she starred in several numerous projects. But when she went, she discovered a lot about the Ghanaian film, the Nollywood film industry, the Nigerian film industry, sorry, Nollywood. And she thought of sharing that with audiences back home. So this is what Ghana Web had to say from what Gloria Sarfo discovered. So she said that Ghanaian actress Gloria Sarfo has disclosed that she is currently in Nigeria not only to shoot a film, but also to understand what drives the growth of the Nigerian movie industry compared to Ghana's struggling movie sector. In an interview on Hits FM on July 16th, 2025, Gloria Sarfo explained that she made the decision to enable her observe at first hand how Nollywood operates apart from pursuing a movie role in Nigeria's movie industry. According to her, she has spent more than 3 weeks in Nigeria asking questions and studying their system. She said her goal is to learn and bring back useful insights to help improve the Ghanaian movie industry. I had an opportunity to come to Nigeria to film, but as I got here, I've spent the past 3 weeks or more observing the trends here. I didn't just come here to film. I came here to also find out what exactly they are doing here that is making them progress by shooting movies back to back to feed the public and the world with content, she said. She mentioned that one of the things that stood out to her was the level of work ethics in Nigeria's movie industry. Gloria noted that she observed that the industry runs almost like a corporate 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. job where the film professionals are working every weekday with limited breaks. So I came here to also probe and know what I can also take back to Ghana. This is something that is really on my heart. So I kept asking questions, and I'm told that over here in Nigeria, they work every day of the week. That is how they operate. It is like every single day they work from 9 to 5 in the evening. Gloria Safo stated. She added that although Nigeria has its own challenges, their film actors and crew are almost always busy with back to back productions, which keeps the industry thriving. They only go for breaks like vacations and come back to shoot every single week. I also realized that Nigerians also have issues like we do here. If an actor finishes this week, he or she is being booked by another production. So they are busy shooting from one set to another. They don't rest unless they want to have a break, she added. Yeah, she added. So yeah, that is Gloria Sarfo on the screen, and this some interesting discovery she has made about the Nigerian film industry, that is Nollywood. And this is actually just a little of what she said about the Nigerian film industry. Let me see. Just a little bit before I go to the very same topic. Actually, I'll play a little bit of an audio file as to what she said on Hits FM Daybreak Hits entertainment show, and our industry indeed have been struggling because over the years we've had some pockets of successes in the industry, but in this decade or from the very past decade till now, it's not really been good. Generally, we've not had a very successful or thriving film industry as perhaps others have had. And the major challenges have, as I've always said, has been infrastructure, data, and policy. And key to infrastructure is always finances to help, keep people working in the industry over and over again. And there are so many underlying factors that perhaps makes it quite impossible to have an industry that is well oiled and working every single day, regardless of whether you are based in Accra, Kumasi, or whichever region you may find yourself in. And one of the major factors is, I mean, an economy that is not really helping sustain such an industry. And a lot of investors may think about investing in real estate, stocks, bonds, and other stuff, but most investors are not even concerned about the film industry or the entertainment industry. Even with the entertainment industry, investors may consider to invest in music, shows, and stuff, but when it comes to the film industry, it is indeed a difficult industry to navigate. And she highlighted on a number of things that she observed in the Nigerian film industry as to how resilient they are. And they have made it a daily job rather than per project. So yes, in as much as they are doing projects, it runs through like a 9 to 5 job, just as she stated. But most often as well, if you listen to the full interview, you have their investors also supporting. But regardless, she spoke about branding, she spoke about a whole lot. Let me just, let me just bring up what she said when she was interviewed on the Daybreak Hits. But key to everything has always been the issue of not having enough, not having people ready to really invest in what we are doing here as a people or as a nation, and that has been a challenge. So it is indeed heart break. I mean, heart. It's tough. It's tough because she said something that I will be playing in this particular audio file that I felt it's really sad, particularly if you had a foray into the film industry, you would understand how painful it is when stars do not get regular jobs, or actors or directors, producers, whichever um, role you play in the industry, you do not get regular jobs to do. So let's just watch this brief article from, listen to this very audio briefly, and then we'll continue from there. So
A post that you made on IG, you mentioned that talents are being wasted away in
Yes.
Ghana. Do
Yes.
you feel personally that your talent is being wasted as well?
My dear, I will say it categorically, I will say it emphatically that I had wasted my talent in Ghana. Even fortunately for me, somebody will say, some of my colleagues will sit back in Ghana and say, "Hey, oh, Gloria cried, they say, when you bitra. Me grabbing you, me, I've wasted how much more? I don't want to mention names, but I'm getting emotional when I'm talking about things like that.
Yeah.
Some people, my friends, they are always home. We are always talking on phone. They don't get jobs to do. They are good. They are excellent. They are fantastic with their jobs, but they are not getting jobs to do with their craft, but they are not getting jobs to do. They are not getting jobs to do. If you follow me closely, I intermittently post people and try to hail them. Vicky Zuga is there. Why are we not using her? I do that intentionally so that producers will know that we still have these people around. Vicky is there. Beverly is there. Martha is there. Rosalind, everybody. We are there. And even the young ones, the up and coming ones, I try my best to be posting them intermittently. I have lots of them who come out and say that, yes, Gloria posted me, Gloria linked me to this producer. And, it got to a point, I was almost like an actor's hub. I haven't created anything. I haven't done anything to take money from anybody, but I was just like an artist hub. That anybody needed any actor, they call on me, Gloria, and I connect them because I know the guys, the young ones. I've been working with them, and I know. And guess what? I've been there before, so I know how it feels like.
yeah, so that's the Daybreak Hits showbiz, and this interview I think was granted yesterday, and by to Kwame Dadzi, who is the host of Daybreak Hits on Hits FM, one of the what's it called, multimedia stations. So listening to this particular audio, it's really heart wrenching. It's really sad that the potential of our industry, I would even say like our natural resources, we've just scratched the surface. The potential of the industry is massive, even just in Ghana alone. But unfortunately, the absence of these three major factors that have been drumming over and over again, or perhaps I wouldn't say necessarily an absence, but it is not it's not enough in several sectors to help make the industry thrive the way it ought to, and it's affecting talented. She just mentioned actresses or actors who are not getting jobs to do on a regular basis, and when you listen to the entire interview, the reality on the ground is that a lot of the actors, producers, both in front and behind the camera, some of them or majority of them would have to do a second job to sustain themselves in order to continue to work in the film industry. And a lot of them have perished without anything to their name, or they passed on without anything to their name, even after having worked in the industry for as long as possible. So it may sound as if she's saying she has wasted the time in the film industry, maybe she may be saying something that is not true, but it is the reality. And there are several factors that contribute to that. It's not like producers are not trying, they are. Producers are trying, but unfortunately, there isn't the necessary support to help them make that a reality. And sometimes somebody comes up and he does so well or he or she does so well producing movies and stuff. But if you go behind the scenes, behind the curtain, and know what they have to struggle to do, the struggles they have to go through just to get their films made, you'll be amazed as to why they still find themselves in the industry. Majority of it because they are passionate about it and they are trying to make ends meet. They are trying to make it work. But a lot of the challenges we are facing stems from not having the right structures in place, not having data, not having I'll say data for investors to look at to see whether when they invest they will get their monies back, infrastructure, the necessary supply chain to help make sure that when one produces a movie, it has enough cinemas to screen in to rake the money back. We don't have that. And not just that, but financial institutions that can lend support to it are not doing it because it's quite a volatile industry and they don't want to invest money and not get it back. And a whole lot. Policies are not being enforced. Um, as it stands now, a lot has not been done with regards to the piracy on television stations to make sure that these films are paid for by the stations to actors. Yes, some are doing it. Others have just completely ignored it and showing films of creators on screens, and in turn affects the revenue that perhaps a producer should get to keep on producing movies and creating jobs for some of these actors and crewmen to come aboard to act. So, I mean, to talk about this, we are not going to be done with. I mean, we could talk about it the whole day and still not exhaust some of the issues that are plaguing the Ghanaian film industry. And when you listen to it, yes, it's not like the Nigerian film industry don't have their issues. They do also have their issues. But the question is that what can we do, or what are we doing, proactively to help deal with the issues that we are faced with? Because migrating to do films outside Ghana is not a problem. It happens. It's supposed to even happen. It helps, connect industries together and help, with the cultural exports of films to other countries. It is good. But then, should it be a one-way street? Or we need to find ways and solutions to this. So maybe at a later time, I would find time to talk about it further. Maybe using Gloria Sarfo's interview as a story, expand on it further and see whether our voice can be heard in any regard whatsoever. But I'm glad that she's gone there to learn, and whatever she's learning, she's sharing it with the world, or particularly with Ghanaians back home, so that we can find a solution to it one way or the other. We need to find a solution to it. So yeah, this wraps up my final story for this very episode. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and thank you so much for joining me for this very episode of the Film Mandate. I really appreciate your presence every time I put up a video. So thank you so much, and I'll come your way I'll come your way again with another episode of the Film Mandate. My name is Papa Otu. I'll see you soon.